it was a lack of knowledge for sure. I knew that movement was good. But I didn't have a direction. And now I have a direction and just the things I'm finding out about strength training. I did a hike with my husband last summer in Yosemite. And afterwards I was like, wow, oh my gosh, strength training helped. Like in my mind, I always thought cardio, when you hike, you need to be good cardio, which you do. But I did not realize how much strength training helped. Like I wasn't that sore. And just hiking's basically stepping up and squatting and doing
exactly. It is, and then like when you've got to use your hands, you're pulling
yourself up.
Totally. Functional fitness.
Welcome to Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt, the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast.
Are you ready to cut the crap with your diet and exercise, get strong as fuck, and build a healthy relationship with food? Then you've come to the right place.
Let's go. If you'd like to support us in the podcast, join our Patreon where you get exclusive content, which consists of monthly workouts you can do at home or at the gym, monthly challenges that are either strength, habit, or mindset based, and access to over 100 plus low-calorie, high-protein, family-friendly meals. These are all designed by a professional chef who is certified in nutrition. These recipes are already in MyFitnessPal for easy fucking tracking. New recipes are also added each week.
We believe that fitness is for everyone, so this is our way of getting you started on your health and fitness journey at a price most everyone can afford. So what the fuck are you waiting for? We'll see you in the Patreon.
Hello.
Welcome, Amy.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes, thanks for coming on. Don't be nervous.
I know. I'm trying not to be. I don't know, because I don't know. This is my first podcast, so.
Okay. Well, cool. Okay. Well, we're honored. Let's cut the crap together. What do you think?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So we're chatting with Amy Carlin. Amy, longtime listener, follower of our content, and all around badass. And well, we're just here to talk with you a little bit and get to know you, hear about your journey, and some wise words of wisdom, because I'm sure you're full of them. So first and foremost, how long have you been listening to the podcast?
I found you guys, I'm going to say 2022, probably early on, maybe January, February, I found you on TikTok and I just started kind of listening to your advice. I didn't jump in right away, kind of listen for a few minutes because it was completely different than what everybody else says. And I was like, wow, it's very enlightening. So after a couple months, I started to decide to implement some of the things. So probably around about that time is when I started listening. When I heard you guys had a podcast, I jumped in and I think I binged a few of the episodes to catch up, and then I was caught up. So
cool. Well, there's the origin story there, but let's back up a little bit. Let's hear about you, Amy, because that's what we want to know about, right?
Okay.
Amy's story.
Yeah, Amy's
my story. Oh my goodness. Well, I was trying to think of what the diet culture and stuff was like when I was younger. But from what I can remember, growing up, my dad was a runner, and I was talking a little to my mom about what she remembers during that time of growing up. And she kind of focused on things like whole grains, there's no sugar, but it wasn't really a restrictive environment. So I never had any, my parents didn't push things on me, but they came out with 20-minute workouts with women on TV, and that was a novelty. And so I remember her doing that. And the trends I remember were low fat, and she would buy things like the natural peanut butter because it didn't have as much sugar. And this is unpopular opinion, but I actually prefer the natural. I know most people don't, but it's what I grew up.
You prefer.
It's what I grew up eating, and my husband likes Jif, so he doesn't get it, but it's all good. So we buy our own peanut butter. But anyway, so I was just always aware, fat's bad, so look on the fat on labels. But that was kind of the extent of it. So, and then I had a lot of issues with constipation when I was younger. So I was aware. My mom tried to buy things with fiber. So I was aware of I needed more fiber and things like that. So, and then I got into my 20s, got married, and then I got really, really sick for 2-week span. I lost 10 pounds. I had no appetite and I just didn't know what was wrong. And so I went to a bunch of doctors, and it turns out that my iron levels were so low that it was affecting me. It was just making me sick. And so they got me on iron, and they said, it'll take 6 months to bring your levels up. And it took that long. So it was just amazing how something like that can affect you. But anyway, into my 30s, I didn't really watch what I ate, but then I kind of heard about calories. I didn't really have any knowledge about counting them, but I thought, well, let's see, maybe I heard of 1,200 calories. So, okay, well, let's kind of do that. And I remember trying to do that. And one day feeling so weak, I go, I can't do 1,200 calories. I think I'm going to up it a little to 1,400, but I had no knowledge of that's ridiculous number in the first place, but kind of played around with that. I used to would eat my kids' leftovers all the time, and I stopped doing things like that. So I made little changes here and there. And then I would do workout videos like Kathy Smith and Jillian Michaels. And it wasn't really any kind of planned program. It was just kind of do this. And I actually hated them because they were hard. And so I just didn't enjoy it. And then I got into, exactly. And then I did get into running. So I was into running for a while. I enjoyed it. I did some 5Ks, 10Ks. I even did a half marathon, but then I got a lot of injuries, shin splints, plantar fasciitis. And then I remember when I did the half marathon, when I crossed the finish line, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm ready for a marathon. I crossed and I'm like, I'm good. That was kind of it. I kind of running just was not really my thing anymore. So then into my 40s, and I just started kind of putting on a little weight. I was never real overweight, but I kind of got to a point where I see pictures of myself and not real happy. But in my mind, I was like, I don't know, there's really nothing I can do. I would get into habits of I teach school, and then after the end of the day, I would eat a bunch of candy. I always had candy at school. It was just kind of I've made it through the day, and just habits like that.
That's
and then
candy for the kids, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. You got to bribe them with that. And then and I think, Beth, I remember you talking about eating till you're absolutely full. And I used to do that. I would eat till I was just absolutely full, and just I just ignored all my hunger cues.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about protein. I would hear people talk about why it's important, but I didn't know why. And so I was just I don't know, And so then I decided, so my husband had some blood work numbers that needed to come down. And so I decided with him, okay, let's go ahead and try to lose some weight. And so I think really what I did was just kind of cut my calories and just we move around more, and we both lost some weight, but it wasn't really sustainable because I kind of cut out a lot of carbs and a lot of stuff that just ended up kind of adding back in. And then I would do cardio every day. I would have this routine where I would get up in the morning and I would do sit-ups and push-ups and squats and stuff like that every single day. I didn't miss a day. And I just had my arms were so I had so many injuries. I had tennis elbow, and I would just be I'd go to the chiropractor, I don't know what's wrong. I'd be playing my flute in church on Sunday and I can't even hold my flute up. What's going on? And now I know I was just overworking them to death and didn't need to do that. And then as far as weights, I would have weights, but I would just be okay, bicep curls. And I didn't really, even when I lost weight, I didn't really notice any changes in my body. I was kind of oh, okay.
So kind of the same body, just lighter? Or? Yeah. Just like a deflated balloon. You're oh, okay. Well,
my clothes fit better, but I didn't really have any knowledge of strength training actually helps build stuff. So anyway, then I tore my meniscus and got injured, and my arms were hurting. And that's kind of when I found you guys. And so I heard about, like I said, listened for a couple of months. And then I said, okay, I can't do a lot of physical activity right now because I have to get surgery and stuff, but I can at least put into the nutrition part of it. So I really, that's when I got a food scale and I started logging. I found out my maintenance. And then maintenance, and then took up way.
How did you find your maintenance?
Calories?
Yeah.
I think I calculator from one of your guys' sites. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then would cut the calories a few hundred, but would still eat what I wouldn't exclude everything. Because in my mind before, I would be oh, I can't have a Pop-Tart and I can't have a bagel. Those are just too caloric. But I would eat like a jar of peanut butter a week, like slapping it on my celery and really not realizing like that's just how many calories is my.
Yeah. It's eye-opening.
Which, yeah. And by the way, that's very, very depressing to measure out peanut butter, but
yeah,
it's okay.
it's not fucking fair.
It is not. It's really not.
It's not. But so then I was like, oh, I can have these things. I just need to add more protein and more fiber. And so I started doing that. And I noticed that I did lose like 10 pounds. And then I got to the summertime and had my surgery. And then I had to be on crutches for 6 weeks. He said, if you try to walk on this and it tears again, we cannot fix it. And so I went, okay, I will stay off of it for 6 weeks.
Right.
But it was hard because it was like, I couldn't get a lot of steps in. And I'm used to getting a lot of steps in because I'm a traveling music teacher. So getting steps is not hard for me. Like I get home and I've already have 10, 12,000 steps. So that was kind of hard, but I still just did the nutrition part. And I found like this upper body workout. I thought, well, at least I can work my upper body. So I'll do that. And then once I was off crutches, probably about September of 2022, I said, okay, I'm going to sign up for the Patreon and I want to do that. So I got some resistance bands. I like to work out at home. So I did that. And yeah, I started noticing changes, and probably around in November, I decided I don't think I need to be in a deficit anymore. I'm kind of waking up hungry and I don't really feel like I need to lose any more weight. So I went up back to maintenance and kind of noticed that I wasn't as freaked out about the scale anymore. Like I would weigh myself every day and kind of learned about the fluctuations, like you guys said. And I did go up a little bit, but I was also noticing changes in my body that I liked. And I was like, well, then I shouldn't be upset about this number because what I'm doing is I'm liking the result. It is. Yeah. So I don't need to be like ultra focused on that number. So that's been really helpful. And then I just laugh about how I used to be concerned with my constipation problem. And I learned like some fruit, like, I don't know why I thought bananas tend to back you up. So I would be like, oh, I can't have bananas. But like I would eat bags of chips in the afternoon and I'm like, that made no sense. Now I eat a banana every day. I realize it's just adding more. I've added way more fruit in my diet, protein. And I've really, especially this year, I upped my protein last year, but I don't know if I upped it to the place it probably needs to be. It was up more than I've ever done. So this September I really went, okay, I'm going to really try to up it to what it needs to be. And the best way for me is to try to do it in the morning, like breakfast and lunch. And then at dinner, I can go, okay, I've pretty much hit my lower end. If I get more at dinner, great. And that just works for me.
You're not playing catch up at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. I don't do well with that. So it works for me.
I don't think anybody does, honestly.
Yeah. So I just the mindset of food isn't good or bad, and kind of watching my language about just body image, just in general. Yeah, I'm trying to work on getting more sleep. I realize that that's really important. So I'm trying to do that.
And you are, how old are you right now, Amy?
47.
47. Okay.
Crushing it.
You just took us all the way through. I love it. So,
and it sounds like to me, like Amy, like you're a very smart person. I feel like you never had like the yo-yo dieting, diet culture thing, but it was just kind of like a lack of knowledge, really. Like most people really don't know, because it's like me and Matt are trained in it. We kind of know, we expect people to know, but it's like, that's not taught. No. So you kind of like, it's like, okay, I kind of want to lose weight. What do I do? And you're just kind of going by all these things that are out there. You're like, maybe I'll try this, because you just don't really know. And the same with exercise. Like you were pretty active. Like it sounds like you're always doing something, running or workouts. And then now you're like, okay, I can change my body with strength training. It's so cool to see that, because everyone is a beginner. I mean, even me starting out just group coaching, group classes. And then it's like, you just learn as you go, like, okay, this is what works.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah. It was a lack of knowledge for sure. I knew that movement was good. I knew, but I didn't have a direction. I just, and now I have a direction, and just the things I'm finding out about strength training. I did a hike with my husband last summer in Yosemite. And afterwards, I was like,
wow.
oh my gosh, strength training helped. Like in my mind, I always thought cardio. When you hike, you need to be good cardio, which you do. But I did not realize how much strength training helped. Like it I wasn't that sore. And yeah, just hiking's basically stepping up and squatting and doing
it is. Yeah. And then like when you've got to use your hands, you're pulling
yourself up.
Yeah.
Totally.
Functional fitness.
Functional fitness. Yeah. And we went to Disneyland in December, and this was the first time, like 2 full days, I was not sore. I was like, oh my gosh, I've always, even with walking a lot in the past, I would still be sore. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I think strength training has helped. Me not be sore from that. So just that stuff's just very motivating for me. It's just the action, like you said. And then when you see what it does for you, then you're motivated to continue on that path. So,
and you're going to keep progressing and getting stronger, and you're going to see your body change more the more you keep up with it too, which is because muscle building takes a long time. 4 to 5 years. It's like, wow, you could see your body change year after year. It's pretty cool.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm very excited for.
Yeah.
And you've been on the Patreon workouts now for almost a year and a half now at this point.
Yes.
Year and 3 months, year and 4 months.
Yes.
And you've been consistent with it ever since then?
Yes. Very consistent with that.
You do the at-home based workouts, right? Which are the resistance bands, also with some dumbbells in there intertwined as well.
Yes. I love it. I just like, just all the different movements that I didn't realize all the ones you could do with bands. I got
to tell you, since I've been doing these workouts a very long time now, and I'm learning a lot of resistance band based movements too. When I'm researching, I'm like, all right, well, I want to progress this movement. And then, it's like, what can we do with resistance bands? So it's definitely challenging me as a coach too, which is cool.
Yeah. The movements are great.
They are awesome. I'm glad you like them. So with the protein, then you said you think you get your protein up where you need to be. Have you noticed where it needs to be? Have you noticed any difference in your performance or your body changing or anything like that with you increasing the protein?
Yeah, I think I can definitely tell it helps my workouts, and I can definitely tell I feel full, but I don't. It doesn't look like I'm.
You feel full, but like not like that bloated feeling or anything.
Yes, not bloated like before when I was full. It was like a difference. So it's just satiating, and so and I'm trying to up the fiber now too. So now that I kind of got the protein,
for sure.
I know, yeah. So, but those definitely fill you up and. Satiate you and
how's your energy? Have you noticed your energy levels changing throughout this journey?
Yes. Oh, for sure. When I have a workout in the morning, I get to school and I'm awake, and I'm actually not really I've never been a morning person.
Really?
So this has been like a habit thing for me. And now I get up at like 4:30 in the morning.
Really?
Which everybody's like, because I like to get my workout in. I've tried to do like afternoon, evening, and I hate it. It just does not work for me. But I'm naturally a person that if I didn't have a schedule, I would stay up late and sleep in and do it. But with my school schedule, you can't do that. So it took a long time, and I never ate breakfast. I would sometimes go like the whole day, like if it was a Saturday till dinner, and I would just eat one giant meal.
But how busy you were, or lack of planning?
Just wasn't hungry in the morning, and just
let's talk about that actually. So when did you start eating breakfast, and do you notice now that your hunger cues are regular throughout the day? Walk us through that, Amy. We talked about this earlier. So I want to hear it from someone other than us.
Yeah, right.
It's like, when mom says it, they don't want to believe you, but when actually someone's actually experiencing it.
Someone else. Yes.
Right.
Well, before I even started the journey with you guys, I stopped myself from eating so late at night. I would eat late at night. So of course I'd wake up and I just wasn't hungry. And I thought, okay, I've got to kind of cut it off. And then when I did that, I would wake up a little hungrier. And it was a gradual thing. Even when I started a year and a half ago, I don't know if I was eating real full protein breakfast, but I would have a cereal and a banana just to have something on my stomach before I went to work. And then I just sometimes, even when I'm not super hungry, I will still eat. And it's just, I don't know, just the habit of doing it over and over has now I'm hungry when I wake up.
You're just somebody that eats breakfast now.
Yes. Yes. And I never did.
Do you look
before.
forward to it now?
I do. Even on the weekends or the vacation, I sleep in a little longer. And by the time I get to breakfast, sometimes it's later, but I still.
I love a good late breakfast because then you're starting to fuck with brunch.
Yes.
Yes, we love brunch.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, but it took time because I was never a morning person and a breakfast person. And but eating one giant meal just wasn't
right.
I would just binge. I would just eat, like, I haven't eaten all day. So here we go.
Did you find
and
that
then,
when you finally did eat that you were really hungry, or did you just eat just because you hadn't eaten all day? As a parent, our days are filled with joy, challenges, and countless memories of connection. And let's be real here, more often than not, chaos can feel downright unavoidable. And in those moments, maintaining our peace and well-being are absolutely crucial. And you should know by now that I love talking about all things mindfulness. So this message is for all you mindful parents out there seeking a natural path to tranquility and presence. Cured Nutrition understands the unique stressors we face every day. Whether it's waking up early to take the kids to school or playing taxi as you shuttle everyone from practice to practice, let's not forget that you still have your daily responsibilities with your own career. That's why they created their Serenity Gummies, your go-to ally in managing the complexities of parenthood with ease. These gummies aren't just a treat. They're a blend of science-backed, health-supporting ingredients like full-spectrum cannabinoids, ashwagandha, reishi mushroom, and L-theanine. Each ingredient is chosen for its ability to support your physical, mental, and emotional sense of calm. Now imagine unwinding from the day's hustle with a natural alternative to alcohol, helping you to improve your presence, mindfulness, and overall well-being. Now oftentimes we turn to alcohol as a way to alleviate stress, but take it from someone that has a long look at his relationship with alcohol. That really only makes things worse. The Serenity Gummies offer a more holistic tool to have in your arsenal so that you can feel good about feeling good. I personally enjoy the passion fruit flavor. It's sweet with some kind of an earthy undertone. I'm no expert when it comes to tasting things. I just know what works for me, what tastes good. In addition to that, each gummy is precisely dosed to guide me to my happy place. Now, Cured Nutrition is offering an exclusive 20% off discount just for our listeners when you purchase Serenity Gummies. Visit www.curednutrition.com/CTC and use coupon code CTC at checkout. That's CURED nutrition.com/CTC, coupon code CTC to embrace a state of relaxation and balance. Remember, protecting your peace is just one gummy away. Now take a moment for yourself and find serenity in the midst of life's whirlwind moments. Because you, as a parent, deserve to support your well-being and do something for yourself so you can continue serving others like the badass that you are. Protect your peace and pop a gummy.
Well, yeah, I would kind of like save up those calories too. Okay. Like if I knew I was going out for a big meal, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to eat a lot, and then I can just go crazy. Well, now I know you still eat your meals, and then when you get there, you can have it, but you're not starving, and you can
you're in control more.
Yes, you're
you can
way
actually
more
focus
in
on the
control.
people that you're with instead of obsessing about the food. And
yes, it just doesn't overtake you with the because you're so hungry. But yeah, so yeah, I'm not a coffee drinker, so which people are like, how do you function in the morning? And actually, if I get my workout in, that gives me energy like that. Yeah. And I notice if I don't, which rarely it happens, but I'm very tired. So that it gives me energy to get that workout in and then have the proper breakfast. And then
So what you just said is if you don't work out, you're tired, but it's weird, right? Yeah,
it is.
Our bodies crave this shit.
Totally. Totally.
And we hear that a lot. It's like, oh, I'm too tired to exercise, or I can't exercise because I'm too tired. It's like, that's why you need to exercise.
Right. And
exactly.
what I'm also hearing is you can become a morning person and you can become a person that eats breakfast.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like you got to change the thoughts, how you speak to yourself. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm not a morning person right now, but I'm working on becoming one. And you're proof of that.
Yeah. And it didn't happen overnight. It took time.
Right.
So, but it's possible.
Yeah.
So with a lot of habits over and over.
Yeah.
Now going back to the strength training. So you said you kind of had dabbled in strength training and like those boot camp style workouts and stuff. But had you ever followed a structured strength training program prior to doing an R1 from the Patreon?
Nope.
Gotcha.
Nope. I mean, I would follow like those videos. Those Kathy Smith, she had like an upper and a lower body, and or Jillian Michaels, she would do that with the cardio at the same time, which I was like, this is awful, but I guess this is what you're supposed to do. But then I wouldn't stick with it because it was just not fun. And then now I enjoy the workouts and just the whole thing of resting in between. I'm like, oh my gosh, you sit for a minute or two between. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't have to be out of breath.
Balls to the walls.
Yes.
30 minutes straight.
Exactly. I can just like, oh, okay. And it's kind of my time in the morning too. I can do some reading that I need to. And so I just kind of like that quiet time in the morning. Yeah. I know some people like to work out with people, so they like to go to a gym together, but I'm more of a be by myself type of person.
I hate fitness classes. I do not like working out with other people. I really don't. That's my time.
Yes.
For sure.
Totally.
For sure. Okay. So you said a lot of habits. Do you remember kind of where you kind of started with those habits and changing your habits of not eating and for instance, making breakfast a habit? Like could you reverse engineer that for us?
Probably when I initially started trying to lose weight with my husband is kind of when I think it probably started when I stopped eating so late at night. I would have a lot of late night snacks, and probably when I cut off my eating earlier. I mean, I wasn't really intermittent fasting, but kind of like would hear, oh, you should stop eating around this time. So I would do that. And then that helped with my hunger in the morning. That would help me get up and want some food in the morning. And I went, oh, I guess I am hungry in the morning.
Yeah. You're not a coffee drinker, so you didn't have to pay attention to that either then. Okay.
No.
All right. Good.
Yeah, I know. I'm one of the rare people who I've never really acquired the taste.
I actually know a few people that don't drink coffee, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Hunter doesn't drink coffee. Matt.
Hunter is just high on life, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I've tried a few, like the ones I like are the bazillion calorie Starbucks ones. So occasionally I'll get
mocha
that.
chocolates.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those calories add up very quickly. People don't realize it too, especially if they're not tracking.
It's like a meal.
If they're actually going to Starbucks and ordering that drink, that's 500-600 calories right there.
But I'm not eating that much.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. You're drinking it all.
Not eating that much means, right? It doesn't mean you're not eating a lot of calories. It just means you're eating very calorically dense foods, for sure.
Yeah. Well, occasionally I'll decide to get one of those. So it'll be about the same calories as my breakfast would have been. But yeah, you noticed, you're like, okay, well, now I'm hungry an hour later.
Do you track calories right now, Amy?
I track breakfast and lunches when I go to school, but not so much dinners. I just kind of more do intuitive. I did it enough when I first started that I kind of got the idea of it. And then when we go out, I definitely learned to order things. I look at the menu before, so I have fun with looking at what's in my calorie range before I go. So I kind of, dinner's not so much, but I kind of know where I need to be.
And this is where everyone should be,
Yeah, you're not tracking forever. You use it as a tool. You learn what you needed to, and then you can still do it now if you need to, if you kind of need to reel it in. But you build up that awareness and those good habits around food, and you learn what's in your food and things like that. I'm curious. So you're a travel music teacher. I didn't realize you were a travel music teacher. First of all, what does a travel music teacher do? Do you travel between, do you have a big school district that you work for, or?
So I'm at my district. I'm at 2 of the school sites. So each music teacher has 2 sites, and I just do the classroom. I don't do instruments. And so I'll be at one site one week, one site the next week.
Got it.
And when I first started the job, we had our own classrooms, and then budget cuts. We got kicked out. We're always the first to get kicked out. So now I have to walk to each class. So I teach for 45 minutes and then I walk to my next class, and I have 5 or 6 a day. And so I'm actually, my teammates really want the classroom back. And I understand it is a lot easier, but I love getting my steps in. So I'm in the
For
minority.
your health, you're like, this
I'm
is fucking awesome.
I'm okay. And I'm not just walking to the class and sitting down. I'm walking to the class and doing like a 45-minute performance. And then I walk to that. So I am just moving all day. And so I really appreciate that I have a job like that
active.
I don't have to get home and go, oh, I got to get my steps in. I'm like, oh,
you have to just go work on getting strong, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Although my dog says, you still need to walk me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, fair.
Right.
He doesn't care that I got my steps in.
How many steps you had, for sure.
And actually, one of my sites, I am going to have a classroom that I'm going to be able to teach in starting next week. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna not get this many steps. But then my husband, just on his own, I kind of talked about a walking pad. And so he ordered one a few days ago. So I'm like, oh, yay. So if I come home and I need a few more steps, I can on that. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. Has your husband been on this journey with you?
Not really, but like not necessarily on the journey. None of my family is, but like I talk about it all the time and they'll be curious about certain things. And my son bought me a new food scale this Christmas. So I'm just trying to like not be in everybody's face about it, but they definitely know that I talk about protein and fiber and meal prepping. And so that's just kind of how it goes in my household right now.
Yeah, just leading by example.
Exactly.
So just a couple of minutes ago, you mentioned how you guys got the office, or not the office, the classroom back, right? You got a classroom for one of your classes. So does that mean you're less activity then for those days that you're in that class? Because where I'm going with this is where a lot of people also don't realize these big changes are happening in their life. Something happens with their profession and their job where now they're more sedentary during their day at work. And they're like, nothing has changed in my life. And now I'm gaining weight, except maybe now I'm moving 1,500 steps less a day at work or something, right?
Yes. No, and I will be probably getting less steps. I mean, I still am I have to be very active in my teaching. When my kids start getting older and you think, oh, you just assume you get older, you gain weight. That's just how it is. And then it just made sense when I heard from you guys that you just don't move as much. You're not chasing around kids as much. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Life changes and you don't realize it.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Or picking them up and doing stuff. So, but yeah.
Good. So I'm going to go completely opposite direction here. I've got to make a comment here about the Christmas song that you wrote us. The 12 days of...
Oh my God, that was so awesome.
It was 2 Christmases ago, I believe, right?
It was 2
Christmases ago, yes.
12 days of cut the crap, or what was it?
Yeah, something like that. 12, I don't remember.
It was hilarious, though. You did the 12 days of Christmas, but to Beth and Matt taught me a calorie deficit is for me or something, right? Like it was fucking awesome.
Yes, calorie deficit is key. Yes, I had a lot of fun.
Calorie deficit is key. That's what it was.
Yes. I do a lot with my job, creating songs from like I did school songs for each of my schools and putting words to things. So it was just, I thought, so
yeah, we were going to play that on the podcast, but we're terrible with stuff like that. So it's like,
maybe we should find it and play it on this one.
We should. It's still Christmas time, right?
It's a reel on your page, isn't it?
It is. Yes.
Yeah. Pretty sure I probably saved it, but
we could use that as like the outro song or something for this episode.
Perfect. That would be perfect.
You down for that, Amy?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
For sure.
All right. That's cool. All right. Everybody, listen all the way through to the end.
If you find it before me, Amy, could you send it to me?
Yes, totally. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, definitely. I'll share that with you.
That'd be amazing. That'd be so awesome to play that.
And where are you located? You're out on the West Coast. You're in Cali?
Cali, yes. We're in Modesto. It is like right smack dab in the middle. We're like 2 hours away from everything. Yosemite, Sacramento, San Francisco. So we're just kind of have access to a lot of places, 2 hours from the beach. And so it's nice to live in the valley. So the weather's pretty, it doesn't get super cold. So when I see you guys in the snow, I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. I don't know if my body would
go into shock.
Would go into shock. So
and you like to hike?
Yeah. I do. Yeah. And actually, so my husband and I used to do it quite a bit before we had kids, and then we haven't done it as much, but like to get back into it. My husband's turning 50 in April, and he's done this before. He wants to do the Clouds Rest hike at Yosemite, which is pretty hard. I said, yeah, let's do it. And so we're going to this summer do the Clouds Rest hike. So that'll be fun.
What's it called? Clouds what?
Clouds Rest.
Clouds rest. Okay. That sounds like it would probably be in the clouds.
Yeah. It's like a pretty straight up
right
thing.
right.
But so I would like to get back into it. I just haven't done it much once we had
gotta
kids.
Go to Yosemite.
I was just going to say that, Matt. That's another bucket list, Yosemite.
Oh, well, just let me know when you go, because I'm pretty close.
You're 2 hours away.
2 hours away.
How far are you from Oregon, though?
I'm pretty close. And actually, when you guys were talking about that, I was like, oh, that would be perfect. Because my husband and I also like to travel. And with our kids older, we could
summertime,
easily.
You'll be on summer break.
But we do have a couple trips planned. So it just depends on the date you come up with. So
it would be the end of June. It would be after school gets out.
Yeah. Okay. Totally. So it might work, but we have a couple trips planned. But we do have a lot of family in Oregon, Washington area. So if the cards, if everything lines up right, I would be an awesome one to.
Well, if it doesn't line up, then we'll make Yosemite.
Yosemite will be next. That should be 2025. Should be Yosemite.
Oh, 100%. That would be awesome.
Yosemite.
I would love that.
I got to do Half Dome.
Yeah. My husband's done Half Dome. The only thing the cables scare me to death. I can't. I could probably go up, but not do the cables. I'm terrified of heights.
What's this cable thing? What is this at the Half Dome, Matt?
At the Half Dome, you're literally the only thing keeping you from falling is you're using a cable to pull yourself up to get up to the top of Half Dome for sure. And there was a video a few months ago of a 97-year-old man that did this hike. It's like, fuck yeah, like that's what it's all about right there. But it's a dangerous, treacherous hike. Absolutely. It's one of the most dangerous in America, up there with like Angel Landing at Zion for sure. So, yeah.
I'm just too.
We don't have to do Half
heights.
Dome for Cut the Crap, but
I'm like, Matt, I'll let Matt do a little dayer by himself and his little adventure to do the Half Dome, and I'll be
you are the adventure person for sure. The things you do,
the adventurers.
Rafting. I mean,
I know.
I am such not. That's just so not me.
Yeah, I'm going out of town this weekend. I'm going down to Honduras to go scuba diving and get advanced open water certified. So that'll be pretty cool. We're gonna
that's amazing.
Go scuba diving with the sharks and shit. So
that's awesome.
And of course, I've been listening to the Shark Attack podcast all week as a result of it. So
boy,
well, that's fun.
Yeah, we're not swimming with like great whites or anything like that. So
okay, well then that's much better, right?
Yeah, totally.
Very cool.
So do you have any goals that you're working on right now with your fitness?
Continuing to get stronger and building muscle. And just, that's really my goal right now. I'm in a good place with nutrition and maintenance. And so that's really my goal right now. And maybe just continuing to make sure I'm getting enough fiber and protein and things like that. But strength, building the strength. I'm really, really seeing a lot of great results from
I love that.
Not just what I see in the mirror, but just living my life and just
physically,
yes. Yeah. And just wanting to be more independent. I used to just care about being small. And now I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
I want to be strong. I want to be the person at church when they clear the chairs. I want to be carrying the chairs. And so like, I'll go up, there'll be guys clearing the chairs off and I'm up there. I'm like, I can lift these too. So
yeah.
That's really my goal, is just to continue on. And it's just been great to hear you guys with everything that you say. It just makes so much sense to me. It's just clicked. And it makes me sad to see so many people out there, it just doesn't click with them. So I know you probably guys get tired of repeating, but it really does. It does finally sink in
depending
for
on
people.
the day.
We know that, you learn by repetition.
So our message needs to be, some people have literally told us that I heard your message 10, 20, 15 times, right? And then it finally clicked. Or I've been following you for a year, just rolling my eyes. And then one day it all clicked. It's like, so we have those Karens that like to give us shit and things like that, but we also can convert them too. So
right.
Definitely.
I've had people tell me I've unfollowed you. And then I refollowed you, and then I got what you were saying. I was like, okay. So they're like, you kind of pissed me off because I knew you were right. So
yes, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's like sometimes you just don't want to deal with the fact that you're the one holding yourself back.
That
so it's like,
so
okay,
true.
let me just ignore the fact that I know she's right, and I'm just going to keep doing the thing that I know I shouldn't be doing, but I'm going to do anyway because I'm stubborn.
Willfulness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even though a lot of things have clicked, I still learn all the time. Every time I watch your guys' videos and listen to the podcasts, and when you have people on and just the things you talk about, I still learning so much. And so it's very helpful. So I just really appreciate it. And it's just changed my whole outlook on, I don't have to stress anymore about upcoming events or certain foods. And I just kind of found where
a sweet spot.
Sweet spot. So
like
it's
you're in
great.
maintenance, and I think that's a really good message here. Is I know you're still wanting to get stronger and build more muscle, but you're not trying to lose weight or anything. So I'm using maintenance in that context, which is an incredible place to be because it's like the rest of your life. You've got that freedom and the flexibility.
Exactly, and I'm happy. I'm happy here.
Yeah, that's so important, right?
Yes, and that, like you said, this is where you should be living, not constantly trying to get smaller and lose and.
losing game.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's a consistent cycle.
Totally.
Did have one question. I'm going back to your profession and your own fitness and nutrition. As a teacher, what is it like for you with nutrition? I know you're very busy, always on your feet. And I know that's something our clients have struggled with at first too, is eating during the day because their break is 15 minutes, 20 minutes for lunch sometimes. And maybe they don't even get one because there's kids coming in and things like that. So did you face any of those struggles when kind of working on things for yourself?
The biggest thing is in the teacher break room, there's always so much junk food. Always. There's always stuff. And you walk through the break room to go to the bathroom and you're like, oh, candy, oh, donut. And you're just constantly, a lot of teachers are stressed a lot. They go in and they
fly by donut.
Yeah. Like there's a place in Modesto called Mr. T's Donuts. It's like the best donut place. And in the past.
Any reference to Mr. T? Or?
No, it's not actually total coincidence, but you'd see a Mr. T's box. And in the past I was like, oh my gosh, well, I have to take one because it's the best donut in the world.
Right.
And now from learning from you guys, I'm like, okay, the Mr. T's is in town. I could drive there anytime I want to get a donut. So I don't have to take it right now. So that has helped me pass it up. But yeah, there's a lot of, I notice that teachers in general, just, they don't eat a lot of protein. I kind of look at their meals. I'm minding my own plate, I promise. But I just kind of look and go,
observe.
I observe. And there's just a lot of snacking and just a lot of junk around because stressful times and
teachers are naturally givers. I mean, they're giving, serving other people, helping other people all day, and their own wellness falls on the wayside of that. Because I know in summertime we see a huge influx of working with teachers. They're like, I can finally dedicate a few months to myself.
Yeah.
So it sucks that for a lot of people it comes to like they have this 3 or 4 month window in the summertime where they feel like they can actually take care of themselves.
Yeah. I feel like there needs to be an intervention for the teachers in the break room. Like it's like, okay. And I know a lot of teachers they always struggle with their weight because of this reason. And also nurses and people with anyone with a break room and that has a stressful job. You can control the break room environment. Every teacher in this world, if you're listening, you know what I mean? Like start a thing like, why are we bringing this in if you guys don't want it?
It just becomes the dumping ground for people.
Yeah,
like, I don't want this in my house. And then it becomes just
like stop like with the dumping ground in the break rooms.
Yes.
Your environment really does help set you up for success.
Absolutely.
And it's funny because I actually feel like I'm more successful during the school year because I have the set routine of my breakfast, lunch, snack. When I'm on break, that's harder for me because my schedule's kind of off and everybody's different, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
We
appreciate you so much, Amy. Your support throughout this past few years. It means so much.
Yeah,
you're a really supportive follower, and I love having you part of the community.
Oh, well, thank you.
Fact, Amy is actually a moderator of our Facebook group.
I know, yeah.
For anybody listening, so come say hi.
Yes, for sure. Yes, no, and feelings mutual. I really appreciate you guys, and we
hope to see you in Yosemite.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. That would be so awesome. So yes, we're
gonna do that.
Yeah,
you guys heard it here.
Totally.
You guys, and they'll remind us.
Yes.
Our followers be like, remember we were talking about Yosemite, Beth?
Yeah.
They'll tell you.
You guys are going to start sending me like places to stay right now already.
How funny.
Because that happened with the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. We mentioned it either on a podcast or at our meet and greet, and people kept asking us. We're like, okay, we're going to go there. We're going to go there for sure. So.
And then, so we've been talking about the Pacific Northwest. I have so many saved DMs from people giving me I don't even know where to go now in the Pacific Northwest.
It's too many choices, probably.
Go here, you need to go there. Here's this list of this. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't.
We need like
hard.
a month-long road trip just up and down the coast.
I wish.
Can we do that?
I wish. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
Wouldn't it? I mean, we could hit a lot of not state parks, national parks.
Yeah, national and state. There's a lot of, I mean, West Coast is so blessed when it comes to national parks. Y'all got all the good shit out there. On the East Coast, we've got like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
There's Acadia in Maine. We have Shenandoah in Virginia. Florida has a few. Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. We've got New River Gorge, which is one of our newest national parks down in West Virginia. I love that one. And here in Ohio, we've got one, Cuyahoga Valley, which is a really good one too.
Yeah, we went to New Mexico a few years ago, my husband and I, and we did some hiking there. Of course, I can't tell you the names of them because I'm terrible. People will ask me, "Where are you going?" He's like the travel person.
You just show up.
He sets up all. He's a travel guide. He plans it, and I document it. So I just have to turn to him. What is it? Really cool.
Awesome. Well, Amy, you also do, I know you make some reels and things like that on the old Instagram and TikTok. Is that all like music focused and just being creative there? Your students watch your reels and stuff. Is that true to say? Fair to say?
There are some students that have found me on there. So I make sure it's a safe place for them to come. It's not a place that I really did it just for fun, for my mental health. I enjoy making people laugh. So everything I do is supposed to be funny. And it's kind of funny because I think you were talking about this, Beth, having things go viral is not all it's cracked up to be. And I had a Facebook reel get like 1.2 million views and the comments were insane. They were so, I'm like, I'm trying to be funny. I didn't even at some point I would just stop reading them. I'm like, okay.
I just don't understand how people can be so mean. It's just so bizarre. I'm like, there's a lot of really miserable people out there.
I know.
And you're right. I'll scroll through just go through the For You page, whatever. And I'm looking at just really nice recipe videos and just people are just having fun. And the comments, I'm like, like how can someone be so cruel? It's insane. It's really,
I don't get it. Yeah. So I just,
it reminds me of that song from Garbage. I'm only happy when it rains.
Oh yeah. That's a good song. Yeah.
It's a really good fucking song. I don't know why I just thought of that, but I'm in good company, I guess. So Amy, what kind of music do you like? I feel like you're our style, like the same stuff we like.
Well, I'm kind of nerdy. I was in the classical CD music of the month club while everybody else was listening to. And I like movie soundtracks, but my daughter's trying to get me to. She's like, we didn't listen to this stuff when growing up. I'm like, well, you listen to what your parents like, and so. But I kind of like everything. I like pop, and I've actually started listening to entire discographies of like singers. So I started doing some female artists last fall and just going through, and then on TikTok, I'll just kind of review what I think of them. And so that's been fun. So I don't have like a really like certain thing I like. I kind of just like a lot of stuff, but
well, here's a question for you. Podcasts. Do you listen to podcasts other than ours? And if so, do you listen to any other fitness podcasts? I don't think we've ever asked any other guests this particular question.
Yes. After hearing Beth talk about Jordan Syatt, I listened to him. I actually went to the beginning because that's my personality. I'm like, well, I got to start from the beginning, and he listened to them all. And so I'm almost caught up with his. And then I also listened to Iris and Brooks.
Nice. Did you hear the episode with me and Jordan in 2018?
Yes, I did. Yes.
That's so cool. That's in the beginning of my coaching. Like I was still at the gym. And I believe I was getting certified in nutrition at that time.
Yeah. So it was really cool to hear it.
It's so
at that
crazy.
Time in your life.
I've had an influx, I should say, of people that listening to it right now. I'm like, they're messaging me. I just listened to you and Jordan's podcast. I'm like, how? That was like 2018. You found that? I'm like, that's so crazy.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So I listened to those, but I listened to a lot of other things too. True crime and some religious ones. And I just have a whole, and that's kind of my style. Like when I read books, I don't have like a certain one. I'll read like fiction, then I'll nonfiction, then I just kind of like to go back and forth. And I actually am thinking about, I've been kind of in planning stages of starting a podcast with my niece. We're both introverts, and we thought about doing one called Just an Introvert and kind of talking about introvert things. So that's why I have this handy dandy mom, but I don't really know how to like I have the concept, but like the actual putting it together. And like when I listen to your podcast, I hear Matt, you doing the ad for Spotify for podcasts. So I'm like, maybe I should check that out. Cause I'm like, I don't really
Spotify
know.
for podcasters. Here's a plug for them. It's so easy to get a podcast going with.
Okay.
Them. Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that out.
And of course, we have Iris that edits our audio and everything for us now. But for starting out, absolutely. It's so easy to do. You can literally record a podcast from your phone with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that easy. Definitely do the podcast.
Yes, I definitely want to.
That you were an introvert. Honestly, I never felt that energy from you. I'm an extroverted introvert is what I consider myself.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yeah. It's funny. A lot of people will be like, "But you're not shy." I'm like, "Well, it's not necessarily introverts aren't shy. It's just how your social battery. If I'm around people a lot, I
love being around people, but a lot of people get recharged by that, right?
Yes.
Not
and like I'm married to an extrovert. My husband's an extrovert. My daughter is an extrovert, and they get their charge from being around people. And I like being around extroverts. They're fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then you need to go home and not talk for like 24 hours.
yeah, exactly.
That's how I am. I was like, all right, I'm done.
100%. And like on vacation, like I would tell people, oh, we should get together. And then when I was on my break, I was like, I don't want to do anything. I literally don't want to talk to anybody. And
I'm with you.
People meter is broken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know, social battery. But so I'll do like a lot of on my TikToks too. I'll do introvert stuff and just kind of.
That's awesome, Amy.
That's
awesome.
Do a lot of fun.
Do the podcast. So. I would definitely listen.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. I'll definitely get on. I got to just, learn that.
Just do it. Just record. How we talk about just take some action, Amy.
Okay.
Just take scared action, right?
Me and Matt didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Look at us now.
Look at you now. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I will do it. You've motivated me. So
yeah. And I say this all the time, but we still don't know what we're doing half the time.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, how am I even here right now?
Well, you could have fooled me. You guys are all sound professional, and look at you all in the top 10. I've told people, I'm like, I'm going to be on a podcast. They're in the top 10.
Yeah, it's really wild. I'm like,
wild.
Matt,
amazing.
How is this even real? Like, it doesn't feel real to me still. It's
honestly, like Amy, we can say thank you to Amy, because without Amy, you listening for almost 2 years now, like we wouldn't be in our successful podcast. And if you weren't listening, like giving us a reason to continue doing them, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So thank you, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I look forward to it every week.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
It's very cool.
All right. Well, Amy, would you like if we give you a plug for if anybody wanted to check you out on the socials or?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Where can they find you in your introverted sketches and
what's your TikTok handle and all that?
So Instagram, my maiden name is McCall. And so years ago, I came up with McCall Girl. And I think that's what it is on Instagram. On TikTok, I am very hard to find. People have tried to search me, and I'm also McCall Girl on there, but I don't know. But if you just, it's McCall Girl, or if you type in Amy McCall Carlin, you can find me.
We'll tag you in the notes. That way people don't need to go look for you like this.
Awesome. I don't know why it's click. Awesome. Yeah. And all my stuff is just for fun to make people laugh. I never come on trying to do anything other than that. So
you're just having fun.
I am just having fun. It's like it's a mental health thing for me. I have a lot of fun doing it after a stressful day at school. I have a couple teachers who will do TikToks with me, and it's just fun. We laugh. And
that's cool. I think I've seen that. That's why I was asking about if the students followed you or not.
Yes, I have. I've actually, the custodian at my school, one of my schools, he is totally, and it's funny. He's an introvert too, but like he'll just do anything with me. I'll just come up to him. I'm like, okay, we're doing this. He's like, all right. And I'm like, okay.
I think apps like TikTok are great for introverts because you're just doing it to the camera. You're just recording for the camera. And you have the potential to reach millions of people, but you don't realize it at the time.
It's in my own space. And and it's funny because but if you told me to go up and talk in front of people, like just welcome them. Like I led a musical at my school last November at both of my schools. And I have no problem leading the kids, blah, blah, blah. But getting on the microphone and being like, welcome, thank you for coming, scares me to death. And that's all, like, that's not hard, but that's hard for me. So people laugh going, that's what's hard about it.
That's where I'm at with my speaking event, Amy. You just explained the thought process of me right now. Yeah. I'm
yes.
Because people are like, well, you talk to people on TikTok all the time. I'm like, but it's not with a microphone in front of fucking people and on a stage. Yeah. Me and Matt were just talking about this in the podcast today too, earlier.
Absolutely. I totally get it. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I just, I'm a flute player. So if you told me to play flute in front of people, fine. But talking, oh my gosh.
A lot different. Yeah.
So
awesome. Well, Amy, it's been great chatting with you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. And it's so fun to talk to you guys. And I look forward to meeting you in person. That's my bucket list.
Someday. Yes.
We're going to make that happen. Absolutely.
Definitely. So exciting.
All right. See you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Amy.
You're welcome. Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
On the first day of Christmas, Beth and Matt taught me calorie deficit is key. On the second day of Christmas, Beth and Matt taught me get lots of sleep and calorie deficit is key. On the third day of Christmas, Beth and Matt taught me eat more protein, get lots of sleep, and calorie deficit is key. On the fourth day of Christmas, Beth and Matt taught me drink your water, eat more protein, get lots of sleep, and calorie deficit is key. On the fifth day of Christmas, Beth and Matt taught me strength training. Drink your water, eat more protein, get lots of sleep, and calorie deficit is key. On the sixth day of Christmas, Beth and Matt taught me be consistent, strength training. Drink your water, eat more protein, get lots of sleep, and calorie deficit is key. On the seventh day of Christmas, Beth and Matt taught me go on lots of walks, be consistent, strength training. Drink your water, eat more protein, get lots of sleep, and calorie deficit is key. On the eighth day of Christmas, Beth and Matt taught me carbs aren't evil, go on lots of walks, be consistent, strength training. Drink your water, eat more protein, get lots of sleep, and calorie deficit is key. On the ninth day of Christmas, Beth and Matt taught me eat more fiber, carbs aren't evil, go on lots of walks, be consistent, strength training. Drink your water, eat more protein, get lots of sleep, and calorie deficit is key. On the 10th day of Christmas, Beth and Matt taught me the scale goes up and down, eat more fiber, carbs aren't evil, go on lots of walks, be consistent, strength training. Drink your water, eat more protein, get lots of sleep, and calorie deficit is key. On the 11th day of Christmas, Beth and Matt taught me take measurements and pictures, the scale goes up and down, eat more fiber, carbs aren't evil, go on lots of walks, be consistent, strength training. Drink your water, eat more protein, get lots of sleep, and calorie deficit is key. On the 12th day of Christmas, Beth and Matt taught me food has no moral value. Take measurements and pictures, the scale goes up and down. Eat more fiber, carbs aren't evil, go on lots of walks, be consistent, strength training. Drink drink your water, eat more protein, get lots of sleep, and calorie deficit is key.
Hope you enjoyed this episode, so why not share with a friend who needs to hear it? Send us a DM on Instagram or email us at cutthecrappod@gmail.com and join our Patreon at patreon.com/cutthecrappodcast. As always, we appreciate you and thanks for being here.